The following program contains adult content and language. The material contained may be offensive to some people. Content may potentially be appealing to all ages. It is intended for older audiences. It may not be suitable for anyone under the age of 17. Listener discretion is advised.
The things that come out of my mouth do not represent the views and or opinions of any entities whatsoever to which I have been, am, or will be affiliated with. I am capable of thinking on my own, and we encourage you to do the same. If you are offended by anything I say, feel free to think it through and let it go! All aboard!
Have your tickets in hand and gather all your belongings. You are now boarding
my crazy train. Welcome aboard.
I'm your hostess with the mostest, Dixie's very own little darling,
the female mouth of the South, Rebel Meddler. You see, I'm a limited edition. There are no others like me. Bet you're thanking God for small favors now, ain't you? Thanks for boarding the train at the stations you are tuned into. Go ahead and find your seats. We are starting our interactive ride. You can interact with me on social media platforms. You can voice your opinions, speak your mind, put information out there, or just call in to talk. I like to shoot the shit and I welcome controversy. Bring it! If you got the stones, that is. God, Goddess, family, friends, and everyone listening, please forgive me for anything and everything that's about to come out of my mouth. I say this before the show because I know me, and quite frankly, I can be a bitch. Don't fuck with me, fellas. This ain't my first time at the rodeo. It sure to hell ain't. If you are shocked by anything I say, then you obviously haven't been paying attention to who I am. On this train ride we call life, you take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad. Love what you got, yet remember what you had. Try to forgive, but never forget. Learn something from your mistakes. Keep in mind, people change and things go wrong. Just remember, the ride goes on. Let's see where the ride takes us today. Season 13, Episode 2. It's Memorial Day, folks. It is, in fact, Memorial Day. I hope you all are having a good day today. I did some research for the show. Okay, very little, but come on now, give me a break. I did the research nonetheless, and I found out some things I didn't know. So while you're all out having a day off and barbecuing and doing whatever, I don't think everybody does it, but that's what some people do. I'm going to give you a little lesson today on things that I learned that you may not have known about. It's a solemn day. It is. I hope that everybody manages to get through the day. I know some people who are having a hard time with things today. So I hope that this makes everybody aware and hope to help you guys get through this. I do want to thank everybody, past, present, and future, military, men and women, for joining the military and keeping this country for what they tell us is free. Okay? Thank you for your service. I want to say a special thanks to people who didn't make it back. That's what Memorial Day is about. It's about the men and women who served this country who didn't make it back. Memorial Day honors the men and women who have died while serving in the United States military. It began in the years following the Civil War, a war in which most soldiers sacrificed their lives than in any other previous conflict. I don't know if that's necessarily... previous conflict, maybe. But not since. I know we've lost lots of men and women who served this country since. After the war ended in 1865, the first national cemetery was established. By the late 1860s, Americans started having springtime tributes to fallen soldiers, with the decoration of graves with flowers and the saying of prayers. Memorial Day is also known as Decoration Day. That's interesting to know. I didn't previously know any of this stuff. I didn't take the time to read it. I do know what it was for, but I do hope that everybody remembers those who didn't make it back. On May 5th, 1868, a proclamation was made by General John A. Logan, commander of the Grand Army of the Republic, a Northern Civil War veteran organization, calling the day of decoration and national remembrance for May 30th of that year. He called for flowers to be placed on the graves of perished Union soldiers. May 30th was chosen for the observation as it wasn't the date of any specific Civil War battle on the first observation. Let's see. General James Garfield made a speech at Arlington National Cemetery where 5,000 people decorated the graves of 20,000 Union and Confederate soldiers. The holiday was known as Decoration Day at that time, and specifically honored those who had died in the Civil War. During the following years, northern states began holding similar events. New York became the first state to officially recognize the holiday, and by 1890, the northern states had done the same. Southern states held different days for honoring their dead at that time, not observing the day until after World War I, a time in which the day also began being used to honor the dead from all wars, not just those in the Civil War. The name changed from being known as Decoration Day to Memorial Day over time. The name change began in the late 19th century, but was not widespread until after World War II. While a few dozen cities claimed to be the birthplace of the holiday, in 1966 the government recognized Waterloo, New York, as its official birthplace. They had first observed the day on May 5th, 1866, and had since held a community-wide event where businesses were closed and residents decorated cemeteries. In 1968, the Uniform Monday Holiday Act was passed, and the holiday was moved from May 30th to the last Monday in May. This went into effect in 1971. The same year, the holiday also became an official federal holiday. The day had been commonly observed by the visiting of cemeteries and memorials, and the watching of parades that often had military personnel and members of the veterans organizations in them. The National Monument of Remembrance Act was passed in December 2000, asking for all Americans to pay a moment of respect at 3 p.m. local time on the day by observing a moment of silence for listening to taps. The day is also seen as the unofficial start of summer. Here's some other ways to observe Memorial Day. Visit a cemetery or memorial, or perhaps lay down flowers and flags. Attend a Memorial Day parade. Put out a flag or raise a flag. On Memorial Day, flags are to be raised to the top of the pole and then lowered to half-staff. At noon, the flag is to be raised back to the top. The flying of the flag at half-staff symbolizes the fallen, and its raising to full staff shows the resolve of those who are still living and that the death of the soldiers won't be in vain. Participate in the National moment of remembrance at 3 p.m. You can wear poppies. You can also plan a trip to the National Memorial Day Museum in Waterloo, New York. And you can watch the National Memorial Day concert as you gather with family and friends and have your cookout. I want to thank checkaday.com for their information. This is where I pulled this information from. So thank you guys. So what are you guys doing on Memorial Day? Let's see. Let's give you a day in history here. Holidays that are also on Monday, May 29th. Ascension of Valhalla? Valhalla. I think I said that right. Valhalla. It's observed in the 70th day. It's observed in the 70th day of the year in Baha calendar. That's a new one to me. I don't know. End of the Middle Ages Day. Oh my goodness, it's observed on the 29th. All of these are observed on the 29th of May. That's what today is. It's also, I don't even know how to say that. God, it looks like it has something to do with roosters, but also known as International Rooster with Wine Day. There you go. I can say it that way, and I can be happy with the way I said it, because the other one, I don't know. Anyway, that just sounded like it would be vulgar. It's not a day to be vulgar. I'm just trying to throw a little resolve in there for you guys. It's, you gotta break up the monotony and tension, right? International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers Day. Learn about Composting Day. Boy, there's some shit out there. Sorry. Anyway, National 529 Day. So they have a 420 day, and now there's a 529 day. 529 day is also known as, National 529 Day. Also known as National 529 College Savings Day and National 529 College Savings Plan Day. I have no idea what it's even about. National Biscuits Day. What? Oh no! I should be having a biscuit today. Oh my goodness. I don't think it's in the cards today, but we'll see, because it's National Biscuit Day. We'll try to see about that. Now, let's see. It's Paperclip Day, also known as National Paperclip Day, National Paperclip Day, and Paperclip Day. Yeah, that's kind of repetitive, isn't it? Put a pillow on your fridge day. Oh, I guess it's better than putting it in your fridge day. Put a pillow on your fridge day. World Digestive Health Day. Well, that may come in with a sponsor we're trying to get for the show. We'll talk more about that at that time. Oh, let's see. What else happened? Oh, geez. It's American Cheese Month. This is multi-day. We're not going to go through all of that right now. That's just so much. But on this day in history, we will go to that. Let's see. Y'all really, really, really throwing me out there with these things. I'm gonna murder a lot of names, but it's okay. Y'all get used to this stuff, right? In 1914, Tenzing Norgay, Nepalese mountaineer, was born. These are births on May 29th. Oh, let's go back in history. In 1917, John F. Kennedy, American lieutenant, politician, 35th President of the United States, was born on this day. 1922. Oh, Jesus. A Greek-French composer, engineer, and wow. And let's see, I'm going to say Ines Xenakis. I'm murdering names. It's okay. It's all good. In 1967, Noel Gallagher, English singer, songwriter, and guitarist. In 1984, Carmelo Anthony, American basketball player. All those people were born in those years on this date. in history. Let's can't see who was born without saying who passed. Okay, in 1829, Humphrey Davy, an English chemist, and I don't know why I can't read today. I don't know, but he passed away. 1892, Baha'u'llah? It's a Persian spiritual leader, founded the Baha'i faith. I am totally murdering that, so if you guys want to correct me or tell me how to say it right, feel free to contact me on social media. In 1997, Jeff Buckley, American singer-songwriter and guitarist, passed. 2010, Dennis Hopper, an American actor and director. In 2013, did I say that right? 2010, Dennis Hopper. In 2013, Henry Morgenthaler, a Polish comedian and physician, passed away. What else happened on this day in history? In 1913, Igor... Y'all need to stop putting these things on here without telling me how to say this. Stravinsky's ballet Le Soir du Printemps is premiered. I'm sorry, I am definitely murdering names, but hey, look, it's all good. At least I tried. His performance sparked a riot in the audience as many felt its irregular beat and the percussion charter was it was something in the music and made people riot. Okay, that's just not craziness, right? Today it's considered one of the key works of the 20th century art music. Wow, we'll see. That's pretty inspiring, right? In 1942, Bing Crosby records White Christmas. Crosby's rendition of Irving Berlin's song became the most successful of his career and the best-selling Christmas single in history. Wow, we're talking about that in May, are we? Yeah, okay, cool. Well, I guess he had to be prepared for December. In 1953, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay conquer Mount Everest. I hope I'm saying their names right. But the first successful ascent of the world's highest mountain came after Tom Bourdillons and Charles Evans has come within 100 meters of the summit just 3 days previously. Well then, in 1996, Benjamin... oh, Jesus. Benjamin Netanyahu becomes Israel's prime minister. The conservative politician is criticized for hampering the peace process that former Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin had promoted. I'm sorry, I am not a history major, so I don't even know some of these names and didn't know some of these things actually happened in history, but now we know, right? Absolutely. In 1999, oh gosh, oh man, and this is all foreign names, and I am so sorry. Uglushkan Obasanjo wins Nigeria's first free election in 16 years. The former Nigerian army general and military ruler oversaw a democratization process that defines the country's political system to the present day. Wow. Okay then. Well, now we know. It's amazing. Alright, so we want to get back to some Memorial Day things as you're out and about doing your thing on your day off. Memorial Day, originally known as Decoration Day, is a federal holiday in the United States for honoring and mourning U.S. military personnel who died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. It is observed on the last Monday of May. From 1868 to 1970, it was observed on May 30th. But that, folks, is Memorial Day. And that is today. So hopefully you guys are out and about and remembering. But do remember to thank the falling soldiers in your prayers, because it's because of them who gave their all that we are here. Let's give a little bit more factualization to today. And some of this we may have said or may recap. It's just a recap so you know. Damn it. Alright, when is Memorial Day of 2023? Well, that would be today, May 29th. Men and women who served and sacrificed their lives in the United States Armed Forces are honored today, Memorial Day, on May 29th, 2023. Memorial Day is meant to honor and remember the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice and died fighting for our freedom. And while we honor the fallen, it's important to also remember the complexities of grief for those that they left behind. It's not an easy day. I'm assuming it's not an easy day for those who served with those who didn't make it. You know, a lot of people don't come home, but for those who don't come home, when you're serving in a unit or a group, or I've never been in the military, so I can't tell you what it's actually called, but when you're serving in a platoon or a group of people, and some of people don't make it home, it can't be easy. It can't be easy for the people you serve with. It can't be easy for the people who are in their family that have to go on without their people. It's a very sad day. It's a sad situation that everybody can't make it back. But we are thankful that they served in our military. Veterans Day honors everyone who has served, while Memorial Day is for those who died in military service. Memorial Day is the older of the two holidays and dates back just after the Civil War in 1866, when the town of Waterloo, New York hosted a citywide Decoration Day. I hope you guys are remembering to... First of all, I feel that more and more people should fly the American flag in our country. And for those of you who are listening outside of the United States who aren't United States citizens, I'm sorry. See, it can be a lesson for you guys. You can either turn it off and not listen, or know what we are going through on this day. So, and we're not trying to leave all the foreign people out, all the other countries out. What we're trying to do is make awareness for people in the United States, and hopefully this will help people realize that we need to stop all of this war and stuff. We need to find a better way to manage through things, to be able to talk things out, so we don't have to have our military people on any side having to give their lives for this, okay? But how many times have we prayed for peace throughout the years? Oh, in my time, we used to do it on a regular basis. Okay, so how do you honor people on Memorial Day? Well, by visiting cemeteries and placing flags or flowers on the graves of the fallen heroes. By flying the United States flag at half-staff until noon. Memorial Day is a day of national mourning. You can attend religious services of your choice. Memorial Day is how we honor the soldiers, sailors, airmen and women, and Marines who did not make it home. The holiday dates back to months immediately following the Civil War, when a few towns and cities began honoring their dead. We need to show a lot more respect for the people who give their all, who don't make it home. We respect all who serve the armed forces. That should be an all the time thing, and we should remember those who have fallen all the time, not just on certain days. I say that all the time. Memorial Day was first observed by placing flowers on the graves of the Union and Confederate soldiers on May 30th, 1868. After World War I, Memorial Day was changed from honoring Civil War dead to honoring Americans who died fighting in any war. Don't send me nasty emails or text or any kind of things about how I'm harping on the Civil War. I am not. I'm just giving facts in history. It's all wars, every one of them, that our soldiers have not returned home from their battle. Memorial Day is dedicated only to those who died in battle and after injuries sustained in battle, rather than active duty soldiers and living veterans. Again, we honor all military personnel, but on Memorial Day, it's for those who didn't come home. Veterans Day is a way to honor everybody, but Memorial Day is mainly for those who didn't make it while serving this country. This national holiday may also be the unofficial start of the summer season, but all Americans must take a moment to remember the sacrifice of the valiant military service members, first responders, and their families. Please don't forget how much it is very hard on families when they have someone serving in the military. It's even worse when their family members don't make it home. What are 3 Memorial Day traditions? Well, I gave you some traditions before. Some Memorial Day traditions. Memorial Day traditions include the laying of wreaths at the Tomb of the Unknowns in Arlington National Cemetery, religious services, parades, speeches across the United States, and the placement of flags, insignia, and flowers at the graves of the veterans. It is often a solemn day of remembrance. I hope that everybody remembers the sacrifice these people have made for us when they served our country. Although the intentions may be well-meaning, it may be insensitive to wish someone a happy day if they're grieving the loss of a loved one. So please try to remember that. It is not necessarily, it's just because it's a freaking holiday. If you don't know what this holiday is all about and its meaning, you could actually unintentionally hurt someone. So please know that it is not easy for everyone. And something I didn't know in all of this time, I can't believe I didn't know this. At 3 p.m. on your local time, which is kind of weird that we have all these time changes and all of this stuff, but that's another show. The Congress by Public Law 106-579 has also designated 3 p.m. local time on Memorial Day as a time for all Americans to observe in their own way the National Moment of Remembrance. Please, I want you to make sure that you try to remember this time, that it's a time that we all should stop and pause for at least a minute and remember those who gave their lives to serve our country. There is, let's see, what flowers. In the United States, poppies are worn only on Memorial Day in remembrance of the scores of men and women who have died fighting for our nation. I don't know if that's the only day that people ever wear them, but I do know that some organizations give them out at times when they're not the real ones, but the fake ones. I think they give out those things when you make a donation or something at a certain time of year, but it seems like it wouldn't be around this time, but I'm not 100% sure. I know I had one excuse me, I know I had one around here, but it's up there. I don't think I can reach it, if that's even it. But I do remember making a donation and getting the little thingy to wear, but I don't remember if it was from Memorial Day. It's been up there for a while, but I have it. Okay, originally it was called Decoration Day, from the early traditions of decorating graves with flowers, wreaths, and flags. Memorial Day is a day of remembrance for those who have died in service to our country. It's, wow, when you think of some things. The 21-gun salute is also fired at noon on George Washington's birthday, President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, and the day of the funeral of a president, ex-president, or president-elect. So at some point in time, and it seems at noon, there will be a 21-gun salute, probably in Arlington National Cemetery and possibly other places. The National Moment of Remembrance is an annual event that asks Americans, wherever they are, at 3 p.m. local time on Memorial Day, to pause for a duration of 1 minute to remember those who have died in military service to the United States. Now, again, I didn't even realize this was a thing, but I want to try to get it out there because I really do. I really do want to keep these things going and keep people knowing. I didn't know in all these years, I didn't know, but I'd like to keep some things. Like, we went to a graduation the other day, and someone gave issue about standing for the Pledge of Allegiance or, anything to do with the flag. God damn it, get up and stand. This country, I don't give a damn what you have issues with. Go back and listen to a few shows if you don't know my feelings on this. You stand. You live in this country. You were born in this country. Goddamn stand up when that flag and that Pledge of Allegiance, because it means something. It should mean something to every person in this country, and we have lost that. We don't teach it anymore. We don't have pride. We need to, because you know what, no matter what, we need to stand together and stand for our country. Let's see. The National Moment of Remembrance is an annual event that Americans, no matter where you are, at 3 o'clock, your local time, you should pause and remember. Let's See, this one says the National Moment of Remembrance established by Congress. And no, I'm not saying just because the government says you have to, because we know how I feel about that too. But in this instance, I'm asking for a moment of your time. The National Moment of Remembrance established by Congress asks Americans, whatever they are, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, at 3 p.m. your local time on Memorial Day, that you pause in the act of national unity for a minute of your time, people. It's at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock was chosen because it is the time when most Americans are enjoying their freedoms on a national holiday. So please remember your freedoms and give that minute to take remembrance of those who gave you that minute that allow you to be in this, what they tell us is a free country. Okay, we're not asking for much of your time. A minute. To raise Americans' awareness of the honorable contributions made by those who died while defending our nation. To encourage the Americans to honor those who died as a result of the service to this nation by pausing for just 1 minute at 3 p.m. your local time, Memorial Day. Yeah, on Memorial Day. It's not much to ask. I think everybody could do that. On Memorial Day, the flag should be flown at half staff from sunrise until noon only, then raised briskly to the top of the staff until sunset, in honor of the nation's battle heroes. The most customary flowers to represent Memorial Day include the red poppy and the gladiola. The legacy of the red poppy stretches back to World War I and the famous poem entitled In Flanders Field, which recounts the bright red poppies growing between the graves of fallen soldiers. Actually, when I read that, I had to find out what that particular poem was, and I found it. It's by John McCrae. He apparently lived from 1872 to 1918. This poem is in public domain, so if you haven't come across it, let me read it to you. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place. And in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up your quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. I hope you take a moment on your Memorial Day and remember those who let you be free in this country. I want to thank all the past, present, and future military men and women who served this country. I want to remember those who served this country and didn't make it back. Thank you all. I hope you have a good evening. This is Rebel Meddler. All these years, we've ended the show with child babies for the most part. Well, we know there's a lot of crap out there to deal with, so we want to add a bit of wisdom for you to remember. Here goes. Please grant yourself the serenity to deal with stupid people the way they are, the courage to maintain your self-control when dealing with stupid, and the wisdom to know that if you act on the emotions that result from dealing with stupid people, you can go to jail. Later, y'all.